So wondering, Dhamma has finally wrote the article on comparison between Anachat and what?
I've read it.
No, came out today.
Today?
The comparison between Vatpananachat and Vasapanpa. The different styles of the different masters. Quite interesting, I printed out.
Entirely English or Chinese?
English.
Or the English people in Thailand? I was watching my brother.
Read it. Read it and then you know.
Could I have it?
Can I have a copy too?
Yeah, make a few copies. So shall we talk about hell again? I mean, it's, living with a great master like Panacha Mahaboa, and listen to his talks, whenever he goes out in the public. He talks only about the subject of heaven and hell and karma. Nothing else. Wherever. And he asks his lay people, if they are the fur on the the hair on the fur of the bull, or they are the horns. And he tells them it's their decision. If they want to go to hell, and it's their decision if they don't want to go to hell. If they keep the 5 precepts, then they're wrong. So hearing this, of course, as a student of Panacha Mahaboa, it sinks into it. And I do trust my noble teacher. I'm not only trusting him 100%, I'm trusting 1000%. Whatever he says, it's good. 1,000%. So when we come to a monastery, once in a while I talk about that. We come here to a Buddhist monastery. We come here out of various reasons. The reasons to hear about the teaching, the ability to practice meditation. When we come to a Buddhist monastery of the style of the forest tradition, we get everything for free. The food is for free, the lodging is for free, and the teaching is for free. And then the Westerners who come here, I still don't understand why, but then they start to criticize this and criticize that and criticize the things that are given for free. Interesting. What kind of attitude is that? Everything is for free. Even the Dhamma books are for free. The food is free. The teaching is free. And then we start criticizing. If you don't like it, it is up to us, to go, leave, pack, and leave. Where do you get anything in the West that is given for free? Where? And everything for you who come here to be able to practice, to be able to hear the teaching, is given by the laity to you, other lay people. Give it to you. Every morning they give you food. They build the sala, they build the kuti. And they give the money, to maintain this monastery. So what is there to complain about? In German there's a saying, we don't look a horse that is given to us into its mouth. Or how do you say? Yes. Ja. In German it's very clear. Im geschenkten Gau schaut man nicht ins Maul. So I'm sometimes wondering about the attitude of the people who come here. And that leads me to the first 3 prerequisites before we even can start practicing. I mean, I was talking about the path, about Sila, Samadhi and Panya. But there are actually 3 prerequisites that we have to meet to be able to practice fruitfully or successfully. These prerequisites are called generosity, respect, gratitude. Generosity. Be able to give things. Being generous, not only in the form of the lay people, being generous with material things, or being generous in giving help. I mean, do you see the lay people, every half moon or full moon or new moon, they come and give their labor for free. Doing this and doing that. That's generosity. They give money, they give food, they give us the robes, they give us medicine, everything. Everything a monk needs is given by the laity. That's generosity. And I mean, you can see it only in 2 countries where it is big. One country is India and the other country is Thailand. I mean, they just when you come across an Indian person who is a Buddhist in here, I mean, they don't let you go. If you're a monk, they don't let you go. They come up every 5 minutes with another idea what they can give you. I mean, a surprise. But also the Thai people, offer you this and this, they see you somewhere, in the middle of the road, they offer you a lift, or they offer you a drink, or they offer you this and they offer you that. That's called generosity. Generosity, the ability to give one's material possessions away. And of course, because the Buddha teaches about generosity and the fruits of generosity, that's why it's so sipped into the mentality of the time to be generous, to give things away. And now think about, practicing the path of meditation. I mean, we have to be generous. First of all, we have to be generous. We had to have some sort of generosity actually to come here to this monastery. Without generosity practiced in the past or practiced in previous lives, we would not find a way here to a monastery. To a Buddhist monastery where there is teaching, where there is food, where there is lodging, where everything is for free, where nobody, holds up his hand and says, let me give some donations, Generosity of material things, being able to let go of one's material possession is much, much easier than to let go of one's views, one's opinions, one's thought that one thinks one is self. Now do you see the difficulty? So that is the first practice. To give away the things that we so cherish. If we can do that, maybe we can give away our thoughts, our opinions and views we have about ourselves. Because they are in the way of practice. Our views that the world should be like this, or our views that the world should be like that. Our views that our partners, our beloved people, family and so on, friends, should be like this or should be like that. Let them just be the way they are. I mean, let the world be the way they are, It's not important what they do, it's important what we do. It's important what we think, it's important what we say. Not what other people say, it's their business. It's their karma. And the only thing that we should reflect on is what kind of karma are we doing now? If we are constantly criticizing other people, we don't see the bad within ourselves. Interesting. That's why Tanacha Mahabodha never allows, a monk to criticize another one. I mean, if they come and if a monk, dares to come to see Tanacha Mahabodha and says, that monk did that and this and that, I mean, he kicks out him first. And then, if the other monk really did something bad, then he kicks him out as well. But the one who goes and complains about another person, he's kicked out. Because that is not the way. Look at yourself, look at your own thing, before you complain about something else. I mean, there's so much dirt, there's so much shit within our heart. There's so much shit within our own shit. We have no time, to complain about other people. Because we have all our hands full, on work, to remove the bad things that we criticize others of from our own hearts. And when we are finished, then we could actually start criticizing, but then we don't see anything to criticize. Interesting. The moment we are finished with our work, I mean, there's nothing to criticize. And that's exactly the meaning of why Tanacha Mahabodha doesn't allow anything like that. He did that, huh? I mean, that is just not. That's not possible. But it's in Western, in Western style monasteries, I know, constantly going on. We did this, we did that, and we have to clear this up, and we have to clear this up. I mean, the shit is going on in our own heart, that's where we have to clear it up. And that's where we have really our hands full of work. Huh? I mean, if we try to correct all the problems of all the world, I mean, it's up to them if they want to correct. Of course you can say a word if you think that something is not going right, but then it's up to them, if they correct it or not, if they can see it or not. It's not up to us, to tell them how bad they are. I mean, think about it, think about how bad we are. Because if we tell everybody how bad he is, we get the feeling that we are good because we see the faults of others. We are so great, we are so purified. Because we see all the bad in the other people. But a really purified person, doesn't see bad in the other people. Interesting. Very interesting. So, generosity. Respect. What is respect? I mean, in the West it's lost. I mean, we hardly respect our parents. I mean, they are just, our cows that we can milk. Money comes out. Or this or that comes out. That's what we see in them. And if they can't give us anything anymore, we leave them behind. Or when they are old age, we just put them in homes, never visiting them. That's respect. That's gratitude. That's respect. Great. I mean, we're just, Tanacha Mahabodha calls these people just like trees who don't give any shade, who sucks out all the water of the earth and don't give any shades and don't give any fruit. People who don't have any respect, people who don't have gratitude. Respect for teachers. I mean, doesn't matter if they are our parents who taught us in the beginning, if they are the teachers in primary school or secondary school or in high school or in university. I mean, they teach us, they try to teach us something. So we can have respect for them. I mean, nobody in this world is perfect except for Nara. So, you are not perfect. So how can we not have respect for another person? He tries to teach us something. If it's math or if it's language, it doesn't really matter what he teaches us. It is helpful for us to live in this world. So we can have respect. And the same thing is with a spiritual teacher. I mean, if you do not respect the Dhamma of the Lord Buddha, then we are lost. I mean, what do we respect? We respect our own thoughts, do we? And our own thoughts have led us into this misery. And that's why we actually finally come here. Because we want to get rid of this misery. Not knowing that our own thoughts and not knowing that our own actions and our own words have led us into this misery. So we try to understand it. So we want to find the way out of it. So the least that we should have is respect for the teaching. For the teaching of the Lord Buddha, or for the teaching of the Master that is living in this monastery. If you don't like his teaching, then it's up to you, and then just pack your things and go. If you cannot accept it, okay. I mean, there are so many people, there are so many teachers in this world, aren't there? So many meditation teachers. I mean, all over, in every 50 kilometers, there's another meditation center. And there's a meditation teacher. So, I mean, choose the one that you like. Choose the one, who tells you a lot of nice words. But don't choose me. Don't. Because I don't get paid. I don't have to say the things, that soothe your mind. I can say the truth. If you like it or not. Just say simple the way the things are. And people, of course, don't like it. Some people, of course, love it. And some people don't like it. Because who in the hell wants to hear the truth? Who in the hell wants to hear that he is evil? Nobody. Because we all have the feeling we are good. But there are two forces in our heart. There are two forces in our chitta. One force is evil and one force is good. So the first thing is we have to accept there is evil within our heart. And then, because if we accept that there is evil in our heart, then we can remove it. If you do not accept that there is evil, the evil is suppressed. And will determine our actions and our words and our thoughts. So if somebody comes to us and says we have a lot of greed and hate, then of course we don't like to hear that. So a meditation teacher who depends on donations, doesn't say things, people don't like to hear. Of course. Because then he doesn't get any donations. Or if he's paid for, then he doesn't get his pay. I mean, see, our freedom is, we are not going to get paid, so we can say whatever. It's true. And the truth is to nobody's liking, right? At least not in the beginning. Because we have to face up with our own bad ways. With our own ways of behavior. That we have tried to suppress for the last 10, 20, 50 years. And now somebody comes up and, and just picks on them. And he loves to pick on them. He just loves to put the nose in the shit. Our nose into our own shit. See? You see that? That's still there. It's still there. It's still there. You smell it? Does it smell good? Enjoy it. You want to eat it? Huh? So you understand, you see it why it's a prerequisite for our practice. If we don't respect the teaching, we don't listen to the teaching, and we cannot follow the teaching, and we don't get to the end. Just very simple. Gratitude. To be grateful for things that are given to us. To be grateful for the Dhamma that is given to us. To be grateful to the Lord Buddha that he taught us the way out of dukkha. To be grateful for the Dhamma that we experience in our heart. That we experience within our own heart. That comes out in our own chitta. I mean, you have to be grateful. Gratefulness, all these things come the moment, we enter the state of Upachara Samadhi. I mean, for some people, the tear will roll for end, out of gratitude. That we can experience something like that. And it's amazing, the moment Tanacha Mahaprabhu, he describes it himself. The moment he battled the Richa, the final stage of enlightenment. I mean, his whole, the whole world system was collapsing, and he was breaking out in tears of joy. That he made it, that he finally made it. Through his effort of his practice, he finally made it. I mean, that's gratitude. Gratitude for what is given to us. No, I mean, in the West, we normally think this is our right. I mean, we claim it. Some people, come to this monastery and claim it's their right to be here. It's not their right. I mean, I have to kick them out, because it's not their right to be here. It's not their home. If they don't have respect, if they don't have gratitude, and if they don't have some form of generosity, they have no right to stay here. So gratitude, respect, and generosity is all helping us on the path of practice. I mean, don't forget it. But of course, it's not the practice, it's the prerequisites before we can start our practice. The practice of samadhi, practice also of sila, and of panya, of investigation. I mean, why do we do investigation? I mean, when we enter samadhi, when we enter upachara samadhi, all the problems are solved. We still live in this world, we still experience the world. And we have no problems, we have no dukkha, nothing whatsoever. The moment we come out, that's when all the problems start again. Just in the same way, they have not been slightly touched. The only thing that has been touched is that we remember that we had a nice experience where nothing touches us. So, and the same thing is with the deep state of samadhi, appana samadhi, where everything disappears. It shows us that there is something left. When the whole world system collapses, when this universe collapses, there's still something left. But the moment we come out, it's just like a world war of the senses. We come back into a world, and the longer we have been there, I mean, the less we understand. Sometimes I have to ask myself, where am I? I have to really, to find my way around. But, okay, here I am. Coming back into the world. So, samadhi is just giving us a preview of these things, just making us able, just making the mind able to rest for a while. So the main work is the work of investigation. And of course, that we only like to investigate what we are interested in. We only like to investigate, we don't like to investigate unpleasant things. Why should we? I'm going to, I'm trying to flee away from dukkha. So why should I investigate dukkha? That is not nice. Why should I investigate the shit that is residing in my intestines? I mean, that's not nice. It smells really bad. It's a disgusting smell, and then it's a disgusting sight. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, don't forget, not in your generosity, don't forget to practice Buddha for a while. At least each day, 2 hours. A lot of the women or Thai women in the kitchen area just want to practice generosity, so that the next life they are born as a man, or they could get good results in their past. Just getting the prerequisites for practice, and then they forget, that they are in a monastery and don't practice. When I came here about 15 years ago, that Kanacha Mahaprabhu reminded them every day, it's fine, it's fine to do generosity or to practice generosity, but while they're here, they should also practice, once in a while or daily. They're not here only alone. But of course, practice is not easy, so other things are much easier to do. And that's why we do it. So if somebody like me, points out all these unpleasant things that are within ourselves, of course we don't like to hear. When we talk about the loathsomeness or super, what in Pali is called a super practice, the loathsomeness of the body, then of course it's something we don't like to, First of all, we are not familiar with it, and second of all, we don't like to hear it. We always think that this body is nice, it thinks of so many things, for so many nice things. Does it really? That is the first question you should ask yourself. How many nice things a day does it bring you? 24 hours a day, how many nice things it brings you. How many nice feelings come out of the body. And the body, not the mind. How many pleasant feelings come out of the body? When we are hungry, is it pleasant? When we are full, when we are sleepy, when we are... That's all nice, pleasant feelings that come out from the body, It sounds really pleasant, the sight really pleasant, just investigate this. We never think about it. And people normally don't like to hear about it. When I sense that, I have done it, about 2 or 3 times. I sense the person just doesn't like it. So for the next half hour, I talk nothing about the loathsomeness of this body. And he left him. We have to face up with dukkha, in order to overcome dukkha. In other words, we have to swim through the fires of hell, to overcome hell. There's no other way. There's no way around. The way around is just like a cat on the hot tin roof, Boop, 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 boop. It never gets to the point. In German it says, die Katze um heißen Brei. Never cross it. Dukkha is there in front of our eyes, and we always evade it. We always run away from the unpleasant feeling. So they're invited once in the States, inside meditation center. They invited a master, a Thai forest master. A Thai forest meditation master for giving a course for 3 weeks. But they made one thing, He cannot talk about asubha. Wonderful. Asubha, the loathsomeness of the body. He is not allowed to talk. He can talk about everything else. about heaven, about hell, about this and about that, about meditation, about samadhi, but he's not allowed to talk about the loathsomeness of the body. So, this master was an arahant. What did he do? For 3 weeks. In every talk he gave, he talked just only about this. Because he thought, if they forbid it, it's most important that the people know about the loathsomeness of this body. I mean, there was the people who invited were so pissed they never invited him again. And they didn't want to have anything to do with the forest tradition. Because it talks about the things, that we don't want to hear. I mean, who wants to hear the truth? I mean, who wants to hear that the body is a biological robot? And then when we cut it up, all what we find is pus, blood, shit, piss. I mean, all the things that we so love. All that we think, immediately we see them, we wash them away. When we see them coming out of our skin. We wash them away, don't we? Or we flush it down the toilet. Not seeing it, not looking at it. But they come out of this very body that we constantly, walk or train. So what's wrong with it looking at it? And thinking about it, reflecting about it. What is so nice about this body? I mean, we have to take care of it, because it's we are stuck in this, for this life, we are stuck in this body. So, I mean, we can take the most out of it. Or we can make the most out of it. Why? Because the Lord Buddha says, actually, or he claims, that the human life form is the one that is the jumping board to Nibbana. Because in our human life form, being stuck within this body, we have the opportunity to investigate the body and see the loathsomeness of the body. We have the opportunity to meet dukkha, and we have the opportunity to meet sukha. And at most, human people or humankind can meet 50% of sukha and 50% of dukkha. Sukha is just the opposite of dukkha. It's just pleasant feeling, and dukkha unpleasant feeling. So at most, but most of us, who are here, if they have 5% of sukha during the day, then it's really much, they're very happy people. Most of it is that we have dukkha. We don't like this, we don't like that, we are not contented with this, we are not contented with that. Just don't think, dukkha is only pain and suffering. I mean, of course, pain and suffering for most of the people, that's not true. But restlessness, boredom, boredom, just being bored. I mean, what am I going to do? It's so boring. Am I now listening to music? Am I going to theater, seeing a movie, or doing this or doing that, or just talking to a friend? Just because out of boredom. So that's dukkha. How many things do we do out of boredom? How many things do we do out of fear? How many things do we do out of restlessness? I mean, restlessness is discontent. We are not at ease. Are we? So how many times of the day, just count it up for yourself, you will see it. I mean, here in the monastery, probably much more than normally in your life. I mean, you constantly meet, when you are out there in the world, you constantly meet with the people you don't like to see. But they just happen to cross your face. I mean, you just bump into them, if you like it or not. Or this person just needs, today I'm already in a bad mood, and then this person, comes up, and gives us another blow. I mean, that happens constantly. I mean, just look at your own life, just go back in memory through your own life and recall all these, very unpleasant situations. And you see there's lots and lots and lots. And then recall, in comparison, recall about the pleasant situation there, and you really have to search. You really have to search. When was the last time that was really, really fun? Unpleasant situations come up immediately because we have so many of them. The pleasant situations come up so scarcely. So, is that the Lord Buddha, said that the human form, or the human life form, is the jumping board, that we can get out, that we can enter the stream, or that we can become a once returner, or non-returner, or become a Nara. Because we can face dukkha and sukha, we can see them. Other people, the moment they're in the heavenly realms, they have so much sukha, that they don't even think about. They don't need to, The dukkha is so de-emphasized. They are so contented, they don't need to work. And in the lower realms, they have so much dukkha, they don't find a way out. That's why the human realm, with an equality in sukha and dukkha, is the perfect place for us, to jump out of the cycle of death and birth, of the constant cycle of rebirth. Being born again, just imagine, that was the only thing that was driving me. Just imagine, to be reborn again. Maybe in the same family, maybe with the same father, maybe with the same brothers and sisters. Meeting with all these unpleasant things, going to school, going to the kindergarten, going to school, I just needed to look at that, and then I said, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be born again. That was my engine, that was my power, to go through any kind of difficulties within my practice. I just needed to reflect about, do you want to do that again? No. Okay. Then you have no option, then just go through the difficulties ahead in your practice. But if you want, it's up to you. Everybody is responsible for his own life. For me, it was too much, just reflecting about my childhood was too much. I don't want to experience that. Never, ever again. Never, ever. Because it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't that what I was thinking, And it takes about training of this biological robot for 15 years before you can use it. At least 15 years if you want to use it well, 20 years or 25 years. And then you just have 30 years in it, where it is working well, and then it starts to, just to fall apart. It just falls apart. Oops, this doesn't work anymore. Oops, that doesn't work anymore. Oh, my back. Oh, my legs. Oh, my knees, The stomach, gives much more troubles, the moment you are older. And this gives much more troubles. And that is, that's so much fun, isn't it? We're all looking forward to it. So much fun, having, when you have a broken down body. It's just like, just think about it, you were driving in a car. The moment the car gets old, it breaks down very often. You have to put it into your repair shop very often, so you can't use it. But when it's new, of course, it doesn't break down. Interesting. We never think about this. Because nobody tells us these things. Or do you read that in the newspapers, or do you see it on the news? Now, what do? The old people we put into homes. Sick people we put into hospitals. So all what we see when we go out, are young and fresh people. So we don't actually see that. We don't see old age, we don't see sickness. We don't have to face it daily. That's why we don't remember it. That's why it's not within our eyes. We really took good care of that, We don't want to see that what we don't want to see. Or we don't see what we don't want to see. Because the old people are all in their homes, The sick people are in the hospitals. The crazy people are in their special institutions. So all what we see are healthy people. Maybe sometimes, catching the cold, but that is normal. Isn't it? So we will never face that. Only, if our father and mother, our friend, becomes sick. Then we go to the hospital and we can't bear the smell of it. It's a place, where people die. A hospital. Where they spend their last days. Sick. Not being able to breathe. Having cancer. It's a place of utmost misery. A hospital. That's why we don't like to go there. And an old age home, we don't want to go there so much. All these old people, they are completely disillusioned with life. They have nothing to live for. Do we want to see that? Do we want to spend our time there? We go and visit our parents and then we go out again. 1 hour is enough. And they're facing up with that. They have to face it. They have no choice. Because we are the young ones are putting them there. Huh? Never thought about it. Never ever thought about it. The dead people we bury. You don't see people die. Rotting away. Being eaten up by animals. Because our body is not at all different from the body of an animal. They have a mouth, they have nose, they have ears, they have eyes. They have everything. Like this. So next time you see a rotten animal, just look at it, see? They have ribs. They have legs, they have arms. That's the same way as it. So what we do? We look away when we see something. Then look away, don't look away. When you see, some of the chickens are sick, look at them. How much dukkha they have. And remember, the moment you are sick, how much dukkha you have. Because this body is not working anymore. It's sick. We can't do anything. And we feel so sorry for it. We had so many plans, just for this weekend, and now we just got sick. It just doesn't work out. And this would have been the weekend of our life. Oh. That is life. That is life, Being born is life. To age, to get sick, to die. That is what is called life. And then after we're dead, we're born again. And experience the same thing. Over and over and over and over again. But it's so fascinating, isn't it? When we are now here, it seems so fascinating. It is just the same way, when there's a passionate gamer, he plays one game and then he gets the next one. And then he plays this and then he gets the next one. He can't stop with playing games. Video games. or virtual reality game. And nothing else is our life. It's a virtual reality game. I mean, we're stuck in that. And nobody comes and tells us, hey, that you still have a body, you still can go away from this game, he's so friendly, he closes the screen and suddenly, hey, what's happening, And then we realize. And that is nothing else that happens in Samadhi. I mean, it just closes up, the game stops for a while. It shows us there is another reality. Beyond that, what we constantly see and hear and smell and touch and taste. There's another reality. But for us to make this reality true is to use investigation. And what do we investigate first? Body. 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 Inside out. Outside in. From top to bottom. From bottom to top. When I came here, I did meditation in the West. Under different teachers. In different centers. But that was unknown to me. So when I came here, what is that? Body? What is that body contemplation? I heard about, the concept, that the body is loathsome, but I had no idea. And that is the only topic here. Body contemplation. So it took me 9 months, to understand, okay. I didn't understand the concept of kilesas as well, just like most of you. What is the kilesas, What is it? Thais have a word in that, kiles, no? So they know it. Because they are born in Buddhism. But we don't have it. We call it defilements, but we don't have defilements, of course. I mean, all the other people are defiled, but we are not defiled.
What is defilement?
Defilement? Verunreinigung? Wir sind noch sauber. Yes? We are clean, we are not defiled, we wash our body every day. So how can somebody say we are defiled? I mean, when have you washed your brain the last time? Huh? What's that? Brainwashing? I've never heard of that. I mean, clean the brain. Make the brain or make the heart completely pure. And have you done that the last time? We constantly look after our body, that it is clean, that it's dressed properly, everything is in order with it. But our heart, we have never even thought about that we can clean that. We just thought about that's the way it is. Yoo-hoo. Isn't it? So that's something, completely so out. It's comes from outer space. It's so alien to us, isn't it? If somebody asks, when have you cleaned your heart the last time? Huh? What are you talking about? When he asks, when we cleaned our body, we can say, just a few hours ago. When have you put your body to rest? Is it last night? When have you put your heart to rest? Never. What's that? Can I put my heart to rest? Can I clean my heart? Can I clean the chitta? Can I put it to rest? Yes, of course you can do it. But now think about, a body that you haven't washed for 50 years. Not even a kilometer away from it, you wouldn't be able to stay close to this body. Sometimes we see people who haven't washed their hair for a year or 2 years, it's so filthy. And immediately we have the feeling of disgust coming. Just think about it, I just invite you to think about it. When have you cleaned the last time you cleaned your chitta, your heart? The last time, you put it to rest. And it's actually so simple to clean it. And it's so simple to put it to rest. All what we have to do is, just to stay with our attention on one point. When the heart sees it cannot break out, it goes to sleep. Stops out. Just like a wild animal. That's why the Lord Buddha, uses the wild animal, training the wild animal in comparison as a similar with training the heart. I mean, you have a wild animal, that is normally freely roaming out in the wilds. Yeah, you catch it. You tie it to a pole. In the moment, the animal, of course, it tries to escape, but the rope is very tight. So it cannot escape. So what does the animal do? Puts itself to sleep. Goes off, sleeps, rest. And then after a while it is used, not to be able to roam, and so it forgets, After months or years it completely forgets about the wilderness that it roams through. And that is the thing that we have to train. We have to train the chitta that it cannot go freely away. Always tying it to the pole of Buddha or to the pole of investigation. Doesn't matter. Be it now tied to the Buddha or to the breath, it cannot escape, or being tied to investigation. So, and that's when I came from the West. That's what I was doing for 7 years. Morning in, morning out. From morning to evening, investigation of what? Next morning, investigation of what? Next day, investigation of what? Next week, investigation of what? Next year, investigation of what? Until I understood what it is. The true nature of the body. And that's the end of investigation of the body. Then one starts with investigation of mental feeling, of thoughts and memory and consciousness. Day in, day out. I mean, that's a path. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but that's it. There's nothing to it, there's no secret behind it. It's just very simple training, it's just a skill that we have to learn. I mean, if we want to be a carpenter, and the better we want to be, the more we have to learn the skill of carpentry, woodwork. I mean, a doctor, who said, what's the word? Who opens up for searching. I mean, he has to train the skill. Just the same. So we have to train the skill. But for us, the skill is not, it's very simple. Investigation of the body. And with the investigation of the body, of course, comes the investigation of the senses. So the first thing that we do in investigation, we do not let the mind go out. So we do not let the mind react in anger and greed. Finish. Put a wall there. Tight rope. The moment it wants to go, it chokes. Okay, it cannot say something that is in anger, or it is not allowed to say or act in accordance with greed and anger. And then, once it is used not to act according to greed and anger, it can investigate what leads to greed and anger. Because the thoughts are still coming up. The mouth still wants to speak, isn't it? So, and then we can look for the source until we find the source. It is very buried, very deep down within our heart. The source for all the greed and anger. And it is nothing than dukkha. Nothing than discontent. We want something in order to gratify our senses. Nothing else. And we want nothing else than run away from all these unpleasant feelings. So that's why we feed it with unpleasant feelings. Because our scale of greed and hate is way out of balance. I mean, we constantly run away from the unpleasant things. All our life we have done that. And we trained ourselves completely, perfectly, to be able to do that, not even to see the unpleasant. Now, in our practice of meditation, we have to bring them up. I mean, the scale has to be in balance to see both sides, isn't it? So we have to bring up all the things we run away for years, and let us, of course, why should I do that? I mean, if you don't want to transgress greed and hate, you don't have to do it. If you want to go beyond greed and hate, and then you have to do it. And there's a lot. I mean, all our life we have been running after the pleasant temptation. So, we stop that from that moment. And we bring up all unpleasant situations, all unpleasant pain. Can it be pain, or can it be, looking at the inside of our body until, the scale goes out in the other way, until we can't see anything any more pleasant in our life. And then we have to change it back again. So then we bring up the pleasant things, to bring it into balance. But it always goes, either down or goes up. So we have to find, to find the balance, to find the perfect balance where we can see pleasant things and at the same time unpleasant things. See them existing at the same time. And then we can just walk through the middle. And that is the end of greed and hate. But before that, we have to be able to manipulate, to create unpleasant feelings and destroy them with pleasant feelings. Or create pleasant feelings and destroy them with unpleasant feelings. We have to become a master in this before we actually can see them both at the same time. Once we can see them both at the same time, that's the time, to transgress. That's the time where we can go through. And that is the end of greed and hate. And it will never bother us again. So that is the whole reason why we have to do investigation of the body, investigation of the senses, investigation of painful feelings, investigation bringing up unpleasant feelings, because we have run away all our life from it. We don't even know it. We don't even know what an unpleasant feeling is. How is the experience of an unpleasant feeling? So we have to face it up. We have to stay with it, from its arising point to its ceasing point. And don't even think that you can stay with pleasant feelings. It's even worse, It's even more difficult to stay with pleasant feelings than with unpleasant feelings, because our mind immediately, goes out in thought. How can I get it back? How can I prolong it? How can I make it longer? What was the situation, that created this pleasant experience, just for it to create it again? I mean, we instantly, we just touch that pleasant feeling, and our mind, just wanders off in the future, 20 years ago, or in the past. It never stays with the pleasant feeling. Do you see your own foolishness? Can you see it? You cannot even stay with the pleasant feeling, because the mind, instantly creates an instant way where it wants it again and wants it again and wants it longer and longer and longer and more and more and more and more and more. So you're actually not with the pleasant feeling, because you're not aware of the pleasant feeling. You're only aware of your thoughts and memories. But with unpleasant feelings, it's much easier to stay. So that's why we train it first with unpleasant feelings before we train ourselves to stay with the arising and ceasing nature of pleasant feelings. Don't think it's easy. Of course we like it, and that's why our mind is running away. To nail it down, what is the perfect situation, where this pleasant feeling comes, And then you will see it, you do it, and you know it from your own experience, it doesn't come always in this situation. Because it depends on the mind. It depends on the nature of the mind, of the state of the mind. And then it doesn't matter if you are climbing a mountain or watching a sunset. Or driving at high speed, Doesn't really matter what you're doing. Because the pleasant feeling arises here. So wherever you take this heart, that's where it arises. If you go biking, if you go mountaineering, if you do yoga, if you do whatever, wherever you take this heart, that's where it arises. It doesn't depend on the situation of what we are doing. It doesn't depend on the restaurant and where we eat our food, where the pleasant feeling arises. Because it arises in our heart. Of course, if you take that body to that restaurant, or if you take that body to the beach, then of course, then we have the illusion that it arises at the beach. Or when we find a person that we fall in love with, then we have the feeling that it arises in that person. So if that person disappears, we can say. I mean, isn't it foolish? Aren't we a little bit stupid? Just thinking about this. So being so fooled by this master of magic, that constantly tells us, the things arise outside there, over there. Never tells us, it arises here. So all what we do, if we want this pleasant feeling, we just go into our heart and see it. Look it up. There it is. And it is there. Because from there it arises. And so are the unpleasant feelings. They are also there. And that is the things that we dig up in the beginning. And don't think. Just don't imagine that you can avoid unpleasant things. There's no way to avoid it. It's to face up with unpleasant things. To dig them all up. The more you dig up, the more you're waterproof. If you go through the pain of death, what can you fear in this world? Nothing anymore. The pain when the body breaks up, or the pain when the body is in fire, sizzles away. What can you fear? What can you be afraid of after this experience? Nothing. There's nothing worse than this. So that's a perfect insurance, But of course, the moment it gets a little bit painful, we say, "Oh, that's too much, we should stop now." Next time we do it, it's not so painful. And then we stop at the same time. We stop at the same point. And we run around the mountain, that we have to climb because we are afraid of climbing the mountain, and to find the easiest way up to this mountain. No matter, from physics we know, no matter, how long the path is, it is just the same kind of work. The work is always the same. If you go steep up, then of course it's much faster, because it's more painful. If you go very slow up, it's much, the pain, there's much longer. So the amount of pain is just the same. Just like the amount of work, we have to put into it. It's just the same. But we run around, finding for the easy way out. There's no easy way out. Sorry to say, there's no easy way out. The only shortcut that exists is the shortcut of sati. 7 days, 24 hours, without one lapse of sati. Then you can get an enlightenment. If your sati is not strong enough, 7 weeks, 7 years, and 7 lifetimes. It all depends on the strength of sati. Okay? This I offer for your contemplation and reflection.